Welcome to the BDTL Podcast. I'm Tatan, one of your hosts.
And I am Kagato, the final boss.
And we're here to bring you I'd say about 2 hours of fun-filled times where we question our existences.
How exactly is this going to be 2 hours? It's just the two of us, and we're only going to cover, really few things here.
Oh, you'd be surprised how much shit we can pull out of our asses in 2 hours.
Then again, I have to remember the last time we did the podcast, JJ and, whoever else that we had on hand, probably Naos, where we thought, it'll probably only take about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. 3 hours later, we're now just getting to the mailbag.
But Naos wouldn't be here, otherwise we would have to tell him to shut up.
That is indeed true.
Let's move on to
He's currently online now, maybe we can just pull him in.
That would be rude. That would be incredibly rude, and I don't want to hear him. Naos, I love you.
Pull him in. Hi guys, shut up Naos, click.
Oh boy. How about we just move on to the main event before we start getting way off the rails and train wrecks and millions die?
But that's what the podcast is all about.
It's just one glorious train wreck after another.
Exactly!
We're already a good start here, folks.
Haha!
So first on the agenda, I guess we should review the week that was, since it's a bit late to do a draft review at this point.
Yeah, so BDTL Season 7 Round 1, when we had Wolfpack vs. Brawl Seals, Private Alliance vs. Smash Royales, and Zodiac Meta Knights vs. Koopa Troop.
So, Leg Pack versus Based Seals, I want to chalk up our loss to Rust. I put Denver above most of the league, personally, but he had, finals and stuff, and could only play Con-Com when he was basically right about done, so I forgive him for losing that, because he had an excuse. Otherwise, we got red pretty bad.
Well, looking at the whole list here, and I gotta say, there's a few things on the matchups that I was actually kind of surprised. Genma beating Huckster is something that I did not see coming.
According to Huckster, there was quite a bit of lag in that match, so they couldn't quite get most of the technical nest stuff that you'd expect from him.
Yeah, lag.
It's really easy to use Yoshi and lag. I can comment on this. I use Yoshi as a primary.
Oh, Yoshi. I hate fighting Yoshi in general, but yeah, I can kind of understand where you're coming from. But I think we'll get into this a little bit later. But there's just some people that seem to take things a little too seriously in regards to Wi-Fi. And when it comes to somebody like Yoshi beating somebody's ass, I'm sure. Oh man, I don't want to go off on a tangent. You know what? I'm going to take that comment and save it for later. I'm going to save that for later, so let's just move on.
Well, I'd say Yoshi is a far better character than Ness in general. That's me being biased. Ness is my least used character I've discovered last year, so I barely know how to use him. Otherwise, we weren't trying to try to read Wolfpack super hyper hard, so our lineup was pretty obvious. In future weeks, we will probably be better about that, but this was just an establishing week. I'm not entirely happy that we lost by a bigger margin than we should have, but what you gonna do? We lost to Wolfpack in the first match last season too.
No, don't worry about it. Like you said, it's only week 1. People are so rusty right now that anything can really happen. I mean, looking at Wolfpack's lineup, they put iLink, of all people, in a 1-point stage. And Maze in a 2-point stage, even though he won, but still, I thought that was kind of surprising.
The thing about iLink is that he's kind of rusty. The thing about iLink is that he's being very focused on Project Melee, so he's said himself that he's out of it, so I can see the logic between putting him in a 1-point stage where he's more guaranteed to win. And Yan took him to Game 3, so he probably wasn't ready for 2 points. Though Yan is a really good Kirby.
Oh yeah, Yan is pretty good Kirby.
For
the longest time I thought Yan was a girl.
Well, with all the anime shit they use for Skype avatars, I wouldn't doubt that.
Oh, I don't even have him on Skype. It was just his personality and the name. I'm thinking, oh, is this a girl? No, I don't know. Does anybody know? And nobody knew.
He's so
and then it took him actually posting in the photo thread, he has a
penis!
He has a penis! Oh my god! All the things that I've imagined! It's all wrong!
Everything has been tossed into question. Nothing is sacred.
It's okay. I still have Faye.
Oh.
And Creamy.
You stole Faye from
and
me.
Steph. And Helpin. And Yui.
Why do you have all of the women? Why are you entitled to all of the women?
Because I'm a boss.
I'm a chapter boss.
Nope! Doesn't count!
I'd say we've talked about everything there is to say here.
Yeah.
Slither is gonna be good. I have a lot of faith in Slither.
Again, I need to hold off on my tangent. Move on later.
Prime Alliance versus Smash Royales.
Oh boy, now this was an interesting week.
I'm very surprised that MB and TJ won. Like, I know they're good players, but I'm surprised they won.
TJ especially, oh my god. Because I fought Ralph, and I used DDD against Ralph a little bit. He kicked my ass. I had to use Bowser. So, to find out that TJ beat Ralph using DDD, I was kind of surprised, because whenever I tried to do the chain grab on Ralph as DDD, he kept on dropping a grenade every single time.
Yep, that's
I kept
what
on blowing
you're
up.
supposed to do.
So what?
That's what you're supposed to do. Just try to not get chain grabbed, and grenades help with breaking up chain grabs.
Yeah, but I couldn't get any chain grab at all, not once. So I wonder what TJ did. I don't think they uploaded any matches.
I didn't see any matches, so all we can do is speculate. I assume that TJ would like. Does TJ also use DK? I think
TJ does use DK. Oh my god! I get messed up. Yes, TJ uses DK, and he didn't use him a single time. He didn't use DK a single time. He used DDD the whole time.
Yeah, that's surprising, because as far as I recall, DK matches decently against Snake.
Yeah, pretty good. Mainly because of reach.
Yeah, priority reach. He can get in there pretty smoothly sometimes. Bit surprised. I'm surprised that Lax got beat by BK.
Oh my god, I don't know how that happened.
Like
I know BK's alright. I mean, I've seen a match with him, but I was really amazed that Lax lost him.
Yeah, Smash Royales could have ran with that upset as hype. It was too bad that the other two also upsetted for the most part. But god, looking at the Smash Royales lineup makes me appreciate how scary their team is.
That's what I keep saying. Everyone's like, oh, Smash Royales might not be that hard. I'm thinking Smash Royales is probably the team I'm afraid of the most.
When you have Vio and Rust as one-pointers...
Yeah.
That's scary.
And Deoxys is a pretty good Meta Knight. I think the problem with Deoxys, though, is that he kind of cracks under pressure a little bit. Because when he was on Koopa Troop, he lost actually quite a bit, only because he got really nervous. If he's comfortable with what's going on, and he's really good. In friendlies, he'll beat everyone if he really wants to. But under pressure, he just messes up. And it's hard to really mess up and get away with it when you're going up against somebody like MB Money.
Yeah, he might be better in a 2-point roll. I mean, a 1-point roll. Just so there's less pressure on him. Like this Smash Royals roster is strong because you can mix up really well and it can be really hard to predict.
Yeah.
Like I see 5 viable 2-pointers right here.
Yeah, Vio, Rust, Deoxys, Ralph, and BK, I suppose, since he beat Lax.
Rust was a massive steal, and I'm so disgusted we let them get away with that.
The thing is that I would have gotten Rust sooner. In fact, I was going to alumni him. But Rust told me that he wouldn't mind being alumni, but he feels like he's so terrible right now that he wouldn't really go too far, because he was saying, like, HCF Wesker beat him. He barely beat Cody or Wolf. Well, so I'm like, wow, that's like really rusty.
Rusty.
Yes, and that was not an intended pun.
Let's not take too much away from Cody or Wesker, because they're both good players.
Oh, they
Wesker has a really good Peach now. Cody plays his heart out. He's probably one of the least rusty players on the site right now.
Oh, I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying that knowing how Rust used to be, Rust was one of the best players on the website, bar none. His track record was huge.
Yeah, he's fallen quite a bit from being the #1 draft pick overall in Season 3? Yeah, Season 3. He had some major credo from Beef Pack Season 2.
Yeah. But I think you're right. It was pretty much a steal to get him as late as everyone did, because, as I completely forgot, when people are really good at the game and they get rusty, again, no pun intended, they can obviously get better again. So if Rust unrusts, then, you know, he's a 2-point player again.
I think
same thing with Vio.
Yeah. I think that Rust's value had dropped significantly because he wasn't the best LR on the site anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, now we have Psycho, who is basically the best LMR, and there are other options for most of us. Like, I felt I didn't need Rust because I already had myself, who I might be overestimating myself, but I feel I can play on about the same level as I can with him.
Yes, the Brawl Seals, yeah, they don't need Rust, because they got Tutton. We already got an Olimar main, so we don't need another Olimar main.
And then I had to draft Kid, which was really great steal at that point.
Oh, Kid, okay. Kid is a good player, but again, like Deoxys, I had him on Koopa Troop before, but he cracks under pressure, and he got to a point where he was like, okay, I'm quitting Brawl, I don't want to even be involved anymore, just don't use me anymore. And I swear to God, Koopa Troop has a curse. Koopa Troop has some kind of curse where something happens to somebody on that team, and we end up losing them because of, I don't know, ego being hurt, or some medical issue, or somebody being grounded, cheating. Looking at Arturia.
Oh, there was a lot of shit being stirred up about that.
Yep. Yeah, Koopa Troop has got a curse.
I like Kid because he's very technically competent with Olimar. I'd say he's a bit more technically competent than I am, to some extent. He knows his shit, he's enthusiastic. I made him my co-captain because he knows his way around the league.
Mm-hmm.
He was a really good pick at that stage in the game.
I agree with you. I wanted him myself.
Alright, I really wanted Rust too, but somebody took him before I could, so...
Yeah, same here. I was like, okay, people kind of slept on Rust up until this point. I'm going to draft him. And Smash Royale's got him, and I was upset.
I think we've gone over the teams. Well, I think we've gone over these teams. I hope Nier does well in Prime Alliance. Nier was a good guy last season.
Nier's going to do just fine.
He should be Peachy.
He doesn't use Peach.
Peachy, not Peach.
I know.
Zelda-y. Zelda-y.
Yes, he'll be very Zelda-y. He's the other princess. Now then.
Meta Knights versus Sonic 06.
Okay. First thing I'm going to point out is I have to thank BCB for giving me a tip about Tree. Because, oh dear God, nobody knew who this guy was. Nobody drafted him. I'm thinking, okay, because nobody knows who this guy is, they're going to probably draft him late and stick with people that they know. Mm-hmm. BCB pulls me aside and says, psst, hey, Kagano, you know that guy Tree? Draft him. And this is right before I clicked the send button for me to draft somebody completely different. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad he caught me at the same time. I'm telling him, okay, why do you want me to draft him that bad? You know how good BCB is, right?
Yep.
BCB told me that Tree beats him on a constant basis.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yep. So I'm like, holy shit, a guy that's able to beat BCB? I want that guy! So I picked him up, and he uses Rob, and I'm very happy to have him. And his match against Grapes, poor Grapes.
Poor Grapes.
Poor Grapes.
Dude, he got pruned.
No, prune is from plums.
Dude, he got wined? I don't know. What is Grapes? What is a
I don't
grape?
know. He got juiced. I don't know. We're trying to do bad puns, and we don't have JJ here, so it's even worse.
We don't have Mugen. We need Mugen.
We need Mugen here so we can fuel ourselves with the power of terrible puns.
Oh, God, why?
JJ, we miss you!
Pain.
Come back!
Nothing but pain. I was looking at Tree. He didn't fall under the radar for Brawl Seals, but I decided to get Yan Yan before him because I thought Yan Yan was a better Kirby in general.
Yan Yan is a better Kirby in general, but is Yan Yan a better player in general?
I also went for Yan Yan because he's Slither's protege.
Oh.
Slither and Yan Yan have a good history with each other. I figured it'd be good for team comp and a team that was already getting majorly overhauled.
Again, I must not go into a tangent.
We'll get into the tangent right after this.
Yeah.
I see Avon and Alpha doing well as usual.
Yeah,
BCB, I think BCB has gone a bit worse in recent seasons, so I'm less surprised that I went as low as he did.
well, BCB has the potential. He just needs to, like everyone else, unrust a little bit. So as soon as BCB really gets his act together, then he'll be really, really good. I mean, he is, at his core, a 2-point player, as is like 5-6 people on my team.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm just worried about how he competes with other 2-point players, because I remember last season he had to be one of those guys who acted as the benchmark for Prime Alliance, and he wasn't. He can probably do better this season now that he has more room to move around, but he has a bit of a recovery to do this season, I feel.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to brawl with him a little bit and kind of evaluate him from there, but I just know that for everyone to kind of skip on him for as long as they did during the draft, I thought picking him up the time that I was able to was a pretty good deal for me.
Yep, it was. I thought KT drafted really, really well. Like I said, I said that KT was like the second best draft team overall. After Brawl Seals. Brawl Seals kicked a lot of ass in the draft, I felt.
Yes. We all know Brawl Seals and blah, blah, blah. But I will have to make a comment about the Zodiac Knights here. Let's first talk about Avon versus Camden, or is it Avon? I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Let's just say Avon because 2 A's.
Okay. Camden is not a bad Kirby. In fact, he's quite a good Kirby. He is quite a good player. Avon, I was expecting him to be Pit, but
he went Meta Knight, didn't he?
But he went Meta Knight, and I'm thinking, what the hell? Because that's pretty bad. Because Meta Knight is like everyone's pocket for anything, and Kirby versus Meta Knight is very much in Meta Knight's favor.
Just like most matchups with Meta Knight.
Just like most matchups, but some are worse for some characters than others. But Kirby, a lot of his stuff that he needs to do is in the air. Meta Knight beats Kirby in the air.
Yep.
So Camden was pretty much screwed because of that. And that wasn't the only time. Because Fernando went Meta Knight on me. And I'll get to that match in a second. And then Silver Alloy went Meta Knight on Faye.
Yeah, Silver Alloy's credo kind of went straight up for me now that he's using Meta Knight, because he was good for Brawl Seals last season. Like, he knew his shit, he knew the matchups, he knew what to do. He had some modesty issues, but other than that, he was a really stand-up guy for the team, who he kind of struggled to get chain grabs off on Wi-Fi, but now he's using Meta Knight, and I know how savvy he is on the game, so if he's using Meta Knight, he's a really scary dude.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that pretty much proved that Meta Knight the best, because Faye was actually doing really well. Their first match, I believe Faye used Kirby, I think, in her first match.
I saw that replay, and she used Kirby, and she didn't. Silver Ally kind of stomped.
Yeah, but the thing is that she was expecting Ice Climbers. I was expecting Ice Climbers.
Everybody.
And I was like, okay, Faye can probably take on Silver Alloy because she's got a really awesome Zero Suit Samus. I mean, she ran even with Ralph.
Yep.
And I was thinking, okay, well, nope. She went Kirby. I'm thinking, okay, no problem. And then Silver Alloy goes Meta Knight. Well, going back to Camden versus Avon, Meta Knight versus Kirby, Faye was screwed. So she goes Wario, which is actually not too bad against Meta Knight, kind of, sort of. But no, Silver Alloy goes Ice Climbers. I'm thinking, oh, I wonder how she won this one. And she actually did really well as Wario versus Ice Climbers. Mm-hmm. And then Zero Suit Samus versus Meta Knight. Fuck that matchup! Fuck that matchup so much.
Just screw that entire character.
It's like, Zero Suit Samus versus Ice Climbers, sure, great. That's just actually pretty good. But Meta Knight and Zero Suit Samus is so bad for Zero Suit Samus. I feel sorry for Faye, and because she's a really, really good player. But Zodiac Knights, just Meta Knights everywhere.
Yeah, Zodiac Knights is gonna live or die based on how many surprises they get with Meta Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel they had a kind of a bad draft position in the first place. They did as well as they could, but their team on paper doesn't look quite as good as most other teams. So if they can, but they have a lot of Meta Knight users who can upset with matchups, and they got a lot of smart players on that team, so they can build momentum. I'm not writing them off quite yet.
I'm not writing them off either, especially now.
Oh yeah, a win's a win.
But I think what everyone wants us to cover is probably the most controversial match, not only between Zodiac Knights and Koopa Troop, but overall in the week. And that's Psycho versus Phoenix.
Yeah, I didn't pay much attention to that controversy. Can you review it for me?
Alright, this is what happened. Phoenix and Psycho originally had planned that they were going to fight on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Well, Tuesday, the time came and went, and Psycho never showed. And Wesker's like, well, just give him a little bit more time. And Phoenix is like, fine, I'll wait some more time, but I'm a busy guy, I gotta do my stuff. So Psycho still never shows up. In fact, he never showed up all day long. So, the next day, Psycho comes back and says, my internet was out. I'm thinking, that's kind of convenient, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Well, Phoenix says that he doesn't really have as much time to brawl anymore. That's why he was really hoping for that day. Well, apparently everyone was saying that, well, if Phoenix can't get his match done now, then that's like match dodging, and therefore he won't win. And I'm thinking, that's kind of ridiculous. What about Psycho and his supposed internet failure? But that's not what the biggest problem was. The biggest problem came much later when they were actually brawling a few days ago, getting their match done. I believe it was Saturday night, Sunday night, something like that.
Either or.
And Psycho won. At least we thought. Mm-hmm. Because during the match, all of a sudden, Phoenix says that Psycho forfeited. And Psycho's like, no, I beat you. And we didn't have any proof. Nobody had any proof. So Vio was trying to get control over the situation. And long story short, it wasn't actually a he said, she said type of thing. It was more of a fact that Phoenix was kind of trying to pull a fast one. What happened is that Psycho asked Phoenix, this was Saturday night. Psycho asked Phoenix, hey, are you available tomorrow to brawl? Because if not, I'm just going to go on ahead and forfeit and give you the win because I'm tired of waiting. And Phoenix said, no, I can't. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. In Phoenix's mind, he thought he immediately won because the fact that he can't brawl on Sunday means that Psycho has now officially forfeited. But Psycho and Phoenix went on to brawl anyway, and they did it in the actual correct format for BDTL. Psycho comes back and says that he won, and he's glad that it's over because apparently it was so atrociously laggy that it was just a big mess. And Phoenix went on to say, well, thanks for the free win anyway, because he thought that Psycho had already forfeited, and he was basically using his loss and kind of putting it aside saying, well, he already forfeited, so I guess I didn't lose anyway.
So this sounds like a pretty massive clusterfuck, all things considered.
It was. It was a pretty big mess. And I didn't think really anything was a big problem until Vio told me what was going on in regards to what excuse was being given by Phoenix. It's like, well, he already said he was going to forfeit because I wouldn't play tomorrow, so therefore I already win. So I thought that was just a big mess. And quite frankly, if Phoenix... Well, let me rephrase that. Phoenix was just in a bad situation where if he didn't brawl, people would say he was match dodging. Mm-hmm. If he did brawl, then he was in a big, laggy clusterfuck of a mess. And Psycho even admitted that it was a big mess. Mm-hmm. So he was pretty much damned either way.
Yeah, I can see the problem there.
Yeah, but he didn't handle it, in my opinion, he didn't handle it in a very professional way. Because he tried to act like the forfeit already happened. So why brawl in the official way if it's not official?
And then try to play off the official match as if it was invalid?
Yep, exactly.
Because that's just illogical.
I know, and that's what a lot of people thought. That's what BDTL staff thought. They asked for my opinion, and I'm like, I don't want this to hurt KT's reputation as a whole, so just do what you gotta do. It's only week 1. That's my opinion. It's only week 1. If this bullshit happened, whatever, we can still come back. So I wasn't too terribly concerned about it. And I'm still happy to have Phoenix on my team. I just hope that he kind of gets his act together and kind of understands that Wi-Fi is a bitch. Just play as your best and don't get upset if you lose and don't take it too seriously. Just do as best as you can.
It isn't season 6. The wins will mean a lot less this season, so not much to get stressed over at this point.
Yeah, season 6 was what, 5 weeks?
5 weeks. So if you went down 0-2, if you went 0-2 like Smash Royals, then you're in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you were Zodiac Knights and went 2 for 2, then you were god tier. And if you were Brawl Seals, you kind of just chugged along until you stomped at the end.
Exactly.
I think we should also mention the Slither beef, because that was a thing that happened that I was not particularly impressed with.
Yes, now let's move on to the subject I've been holding off on for so goddamn long.
Oh, this topic is also known as In Defense of Slither, because I am his captain, and I will defend him to the ends of the earth.
Alright.
Go for it. Say your piece.
Do you know what beef is?
What the hell is with Slither taking Wi-Fi so goddamn seriously? I mean, the dude is toting about how badass he is offline, and then yet his entire train of thought is basically, okay, it's Wi-Fi. If I win, I'm so much better than you guys. And if I lose, it's just Wi-Fi lag beat me. You didn't win on skill anyway. And I say that because that's kind of exactly what happened when he brawled me.
Mm-hmm. I saw.
Yeah, a lot of people were there to witness his absolute rage-quitting madness.
I thought he won most of those matches.
No, he didn't. No, I won the majority. He won like 2, and it was Rob versus Bowser. The rest of them, I won all of them. But he like rage quit and is like, this lag, I can't handle this lag. You suck anyway. You're terrible, and you're stupid lag because of Walmart and Walmart connection and all this other kind of bullshit. And I'm thinking, dude, it's Wi-Fi. And it took me to play Ultimate Marvel to realize that if you take online games seriously, then it's wrong, because everything you think you know about a fighting game or a competitive game is completely changed on Wi-Fi, especially with Brawl.
Yep.
Because let's take Meta Knight, for example, because Meta Knight's a perfect example. His down smash comes out really damn fast. Okay. Offline, if you think it's coming, you can shield in time. Online, if you think it's coming, you basically need to be already shielding in order to block it.
I think the main problem with Meta Knight Online is that while most characters have windows of opportunity, Meta Knight is more like a rotating fan of opportunity.
Exactly. And the thing is that you can't really use Wi-Fi as a means of showing any form of superiority, because everything changes online between each and every individual person. Each connection is going to be different. The matchups are going to be different as a result, and certain moves are going to become far more abusable and safe because of button lag. You can't shield really fast attacks if the shield comes out a split second later than it should. So, long story short, Slither is basically taking that aspect of Brawl and treating it like it's offline mechanics. What?
I don't think that's necessarily the point he's trying to make, but he's naturally a really cocky guy. Like, I think it'd be more pertinent to talk about how poor his attitude has been in the public eye. The thing about Slither is that I drafted him because I scouted him ahead of time. We really hit it off. He's told me that he has basically like 2 separate personalities, a private one and a public one. People have seen the public personality and they have not responded well to it whatsoever, and he's being a bit of a massive tool. But he's a really stand-up guy when you're talking to him in public. He will support you. He will be a cheerleader. I liken him to Phoenix, that he's not necessarily popular in the public, but I remember talking to Alpha about Phoenix and how like he would support the entire team really well on Zodiac Knights last year. And I'm getting that vibe from Slither. I feel he's going to be a major asset for a team if he doesn't get in trouble and make penalty points happen.
Yeah, you guys are going to have some trouble with that.
Yeah, the entire episode with Fernando and you and him being a tool was completely fucking uncalled for.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about Fernando in a minute here too.
And we almost got penalty points for that. So we had a lecture. He knows what he's going to do in the future. He's not going to let himself get too rised up. I'd like to see if his nice guy private personality came out to the forefront more, because I think you can agree that like before BDTL happened, like when he was just joining Brawl Domain, he was a pretty nice guy. He still is, but he got really cocky. Like genuine enthusiasm, a lot of outgoing personality. And one thing I like about him is his confidence. Like, there's a case to be made that he's overconfident, but I prefer that to people who say they suck. I hate the I suck mentality. That was like one of the things in Brawl Seals that I was trying really hard on the team to rectify, because we had a lot of modest players who uncertain about what they were going to do, and I had to act as a bit of a cheerleader to encourage people to do their best and believe in themselves and their own excellence. And it worked for the most part. We won.
Well, that's good, and I also hate the I suck mentality, but I also hate the douchebag pro elite mentality that some people have, like Slither. And even though that you said that, his private personality is a nice guy, he'll support you and cheer you on, that's actually what the problem is. That's actually a massive problem, because he's basically saying, I want everyone to know that I'm an asshole. Except for my closest friends, they're okay. But I just want everyone to know how big of a dick I can be, so I can't have more friends to be nice to. Where's my logic in this? Never mind!
I'd say that the case, I condoned it for a while for one reason, just to get other teams on tilt. If other teams are on tilt, that benefits me. As of now, I've switched from that position if it gets me in more trouble, and I don't really care for him being outright disrespectful. Like, I like beef if it's in good humor. Like, all the beef I plan for KT is going to be hilarious, just like Sonic 06 references. It's going to be fun for the both of us, and that's what's
alright,
important.
I was going to kind of make references myself, but he's good, but he's a joke. So if he wants to stop being a joke, he needs to shape up. Start acting like an actual honorable human being.
I'd like him to act more like a decent human being on the public forum. In terms of our team, I pay very little weight or attention to what other people say about him. As if he gets his matches done, if he supports his team, that's all I can really ask of him. We're on good terms between each other. I am supportive of the mentality that everybody should be chummy.
It's good. It's just good sportsmanship. That's what I care about most, and that's what I try and tell Koopa Troop every single season. Every single season that I start Koopa Troop, my opening post is, I want you guys to be good sports, don't do anything underhanded, be nice to who you play against, and all that mess. But if you're being shit on by somebody for no apparent reason, you have perfect permission to go and shit on them back. Yeah, I think it's all fair that way. Just be a good sport at first. At the very least.
I'm a new captain in this league. My mentality is I want camaraderie. Camaraderie. I want my teammates to be a band of brothers. I'm trying to put it into specific words as to what I like to aim for on a team, but I like them to support each other. I want my team to be better because they make all of the individual components better as a team. Like, that was a big deal with the Brawl Seals last year. Our team last year, if you looked at it on an individual basis, all you saw was Killock, and some other people had to make constant upsets all of the time. Mm-hmm. Like, when you compare our team to, like, Prime Alliance, who had, like, 3 really good headliners, we had ways to go. Like, I'm okay. I would like it if they're good sports, but it's not a priority for me. I don't want them to be outright disrespectful, but as far as I'm concerned, if they get their matches done, if they treat their own teammates real good, I'm okay with that.
Alright, but I just hope that you enforce some kind of good sportsmanship and honor and stuff, because I've already had to deal with a lot of stuff in regards to me and my team. In regards to this, I wanted to bring this up before. Fernando didn't mention this, but let this be known to everyone on the domain. You cannot pull a fast one on me. You never will. Because Fernando tried, and it didn't last more than like a minute. Because we were doing our match, and at the end of match 3, you all know what happened. His Mennonite SD'd probably because of a lag spike at the time. It's okay, it happens. But as soon as he died, we were communicating over Skype. He immediately, as soon as he died, posted, LOL, what happened? USD? Like, really now? My SD card is out of my Wii, dude. And he just posted with a couple of dots, and I said, I'm using no hacks. And he's like, oh, LOL, well, hold on, let me disconnect. You had 2 stocks. I'm like, haha, nope. And he said, K. And I said, yes, I had 2 stocks, because I had to double check. I did have 2 stocks when he died. And basically what it comes down to is that he was trying to pull a fast one saying, we disconnected, or desynced, so let's try that again. But I told him that I had recorded the matches already. And as soon as I said that, he's like, oh, okay, so when's your next Tomb Raider Let's Play coming out? He changed subjects so fast. So fast.
That's silly.
I know, it's like, dude, you tried to pull a fast one on me, and I know better than that. Don't even try. So, guys, be good sports, and if you lose, just fucking accept the loss. It's Wi-Fi! Where's Steam when you need him? He needs to come in and complain about Wi-Fi some more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let people get way too obsessed about winning or losing, because that's not the point.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. Koopa Troop wants to win bad. We do want to win. We want to get that Wesker Cup finally. And if I really want to, I can send in everyone and say, okay, everybody do your best and win. I'm going to send in all my best people. We're going to kick everybody's ass. But, still want to have fun doing it.
Yeah, that's all that's important. Just having fun. I'm not gonna come down on people if they lose their matches. I want to see them have fun. Making friends with other teams isn't necessarily my definition of fun, but I don't want to see them treat others with complete shittiness.
That's
what I told Slither, and Slither is going to be better about this.
Good. That's pretty much what everyone's hoping to hear anyway. So, really, he needs to show by example. If he starts being a respectable guy, then people will be nice to him back and not be out to get him. Because remember how people were about Phoenix. People were a complete dick to Phoenix because he was an asshole to everybody else. Mm-hmm. Then he tried to shape up, and everyone's alright a little bit about it. Although some people won't let the past go away, but for the most part, people have been okay. So as long as Slither kind of shapes up, then he'll be alright in the eyes of everybody, and then he'll be respected.
Time heals wounds slowly.
Mm-hmm.
You did me a favor by getting Phoenix first overall, because I didn't want to deal with the decision of whether or not I wanted to put him on the same team as Chicken again. you saved me a really easy call there.
Oh, you're welcome. I wanted Phoenix because I knew what he's capable of, and I think really right now he's just a little bit rusty, because I know we're about to get into the predictions for the next week and such, but actually, this is actually a good segue for it. We've already gotten some matches done for this week 2. And
oh boy.
Phoenix,
we get to do Sonic 06 and Game Grumps right away.
Yep. Phoenix lost to Denver.
Why did you put him on Battlefield? He mentioned that wasn't a stage he wanted to be on, so that decision really baffled me. If you don't want to say why, that's cool. I'm just curious.
You want to know the truth?
What?
Want to know the real truth?
Phoenix
is blaming me for something that never happened.
Oh.
And that honestly pisses me off to no end.
Oh.
Because we always discuss, again, in Koopa Troop, one of the very first topics I always make on Koopa Troop is I want everyone to put a list of the stages that are legal in the order of their most favorable to least favorable. Phoenix put 4 stages in kind of the same tier. Battlefield being one of them. Delfino being another. And I'm not going to say the other 2, but so on and so forth. So basically, he said that he's okay being on Battlefield.
Oh.
And Faye specifically asked me to be in a 1-point match. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll switch FaZe and Faye. Well, I went by FaZe's tier preferences, or stage tier preferences. And I made some changes. This was long before I submitted the week list. This is long before, so there was plenty of time for Phoenix to pop in and say his piece in regards to his stages. Mm-hmm. Because the 3 stages chosen were stages that Phoenix liked.
Yep.
Delfino was one, Battlefield's one, like I said. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just kind of move people around so everyone's a little bit more comfortable. Because FaZe is really comfortable on Delfino Plaza. And I wanted Lilac Cruise because I was thinking, well, Brawl Seals aren't idiots. They'll probably stick somebody on Lilac to counter me. So, obviously, they put you there.
We'll see how that happens, because I'm pretty sure
well, you're an Olimar, and Olimar beats the fuck out of Bowser.
You have, like, 5 characters.
Yeah, but we'll see about that. But
we haven't played since 2010. It's going either way.
My point is, I was expecting Slither. I was aiming to team myself up with Slither because I wanted to fight him because I have Meta Knight experience.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I have Meta Knight experience. So I was like, okay, they're going to probably put Slither there because it's a good stage for Meta Knight. I'm thinking, okay, I'll have a rough match and then I'll go from there. But no, you got put there, and then Slither got put on Delfino, and then Denver was on Battlefield. I'm like, okay, Phoenix could probably beat Denver.
I feel really good about how badly we called Koopa Troop here. I feel real good about this lineup in general. It kind of just materialized.
Okay, yeah, boast about how bad you call it and everything, but the thing is that everyone, including myself, thought that Phoenix was going to beat Denver.
I'd know. No. Denver is like, I give him top 3 on the site. Denver is really good.
But Phoenix has beaten Denver before.
I still give Denver more credit. Denver is like the best snake on the site, I feel.
My point being is that I felt that Phoenix was going to win simply because it was Snake instead of Meta Knight, and Meta Knight is worse for Sonic to deal with than Snake is. So I figured, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Well, Phoenix got 2-stock both games.
I think that the stage selection might have contributed towards that because Sonic has a lot less room to move around and Snake has a lot more options.
The thing, though, is that all said and done, Phoenix blamed where he was placed. Not his opponent, not anything else, not his skill, not his opponent. It was the stage he was placed on.
Yeah.
Even though he specifically said he's okay with Battlefield. And he compares that to other stages saying, okay, I'm good with Battlefield, I'm good with all these other stages. They're all equal to me. I'm thinking, okay, I have your permission. I'm putting you there. There was no qualms about this. He didn't bring anything up for like 2 days. I submit it. Then immediately he comes back like, okay, you probably should have put me on Delfino, but I'm okay with this. He loses. Fuck you for putting me on fucking Battlefield. What's wrong with you? I blame you for everything. That made me mad.
I don't want to help. I don't want to help my enemy team. I don't want to help the enemy, but maybe you should have a Skype group so you can have like live discussions on this if you haven't implemented it already.
We do.
All right.
In fact, that's where most of the discussions go down.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, we use both the forum and Skype, so we have plenty of ways of getting in touch with each other. So, needless to say, I'm upset about it, but you know what? It's week 2, and it's still early. We still have a shot. So, Phoenix, yeah, you lost. So, try again next week.
Mm-hmm. So just calling the matchups in general.
Yeah.
I want to say at best, Brawl Seals wins 9-1.
At best.
But that's me being incredibly optimistic as to how I beat you. Because that goes either way. I feel.
I'm honestly not going to be arrogant and say that I'm definitely going to beat you because, quite frankly, things happen in Brawl. And even if one person is like said to, oh, he's guaranteed to win, there are things that can happen. Upsets, somebody just becomes so much better than anyone realized. Because I haven't brawled you in a long time. I don't know how good you've gotten.
Yeah.
And you use Olimar. And Olimar is one of Bowser's worst matchups.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. No matter what Bowser can do, Olimar can do it better, is what I feel.
Pretty much, yeah. So, I'm not going to get cocky and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to fucking beat you up. No, I'm going to wait until after the match is over, because I thought I was going to beat up Fernando really damn good, and no, it was just really close, and quite frankly, I won because he fucked up.
And then he sent it up pretty good.
Yeah.
Vancouver riots everywhere. Basically, our match is like the only thing stopping. It's the only thing that's making me debate whether it'll end up 7-3 or 9-1, because I'm pretty sure most of the other matches are going to end very predictably. Zan is amazing. Zan was a major steal, and I think he should do a good number against Tree.
I disagree. What I've seen of Tree, from my own personal experience, I think people need to be scared. If Tree loses, okay. If he wins, I think he's going to finally get some respect, because not a lot of people really look at Tree and say anything. It's like, oh, it's just Tree.
See, you can take all that for Tree and you can apply it to Zan.
Yep,
I've seen Zan. So. He's as good, if not better, at Wario than BCB.
All right,
and he has.
And that's going to be a hype matchup either way, regardless of who wins. As far as the team versus team, I think Tree versus Zan is going to be a pretty hype match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to replays on that account. Yan Yan, I think is going to beat Creamy. Creamy's a good Link. Kirby messes up Link pretty bad.
Yeah, though her Lucas has actually gotten quite good. Her Lucas has actually beaten my Bowser. That's saying something. And this was recent, too. And she's still kind of rusty. So she has the potential.
I don't pay much attention to low-tier matches, because those tend to go either way, depending on the matchups. But
that's true. But she said that she brawled K-Wolf recently, and they were pretty much on even ground the whole way. So I think people keep forgetting just how good of a Link Creamy actually is.
I think we need a tournament. I think we need an only Link tournament, because there are too many Link users. I have a Link.
I even use Link.
Link is the most fun low-tier character to use, I feel. Although you're going to say Bowser, so I can see that coming. But I think that Link is like the most fun low-tier to use.
No,
he's fun.
No, the most fun low-tier is obviously Ganondorf.
Oh, Ganondorf's fun too. I just like being very tech-happy with Link.
Oh, I see.
Like, Link is a very technical character. And then he's still bad. He's
now,
basically a
Slash
Dan
versus Bloody
Hibiki
Boom.
of Brawl.
Sorry, I'm trying to get through here, because we've already pretty much started, like, we're already at like 50 minutes or something.
I told you this beats 2 hours.
I didn't think so, but it looks like I was wrong. Okay, Slash versus Bloody Boom.
Supersonic Racing.
What do you have to say about it?
Boom wins.
Faye versus Kid Coon.
Faye's good.
I'm sorry, dude.
I don't want to say bad things about NG, but like that's the only matchup that I feel NG is going to have an uphill struggle.
Uphill struggle? He's climbing a cliffside.
But he's a really solid Olimar. If he knows his matchups, he's going to have a good fighting chance.
All right, but
but that one match is like the one point I would give KT.
All right, because I still have yet to fight Faye one-on-one, but I have watched some of her matches. I've seen what she's done to other people. She is dangerous. So watch out for Faye. Me versus you, we already talked about that. Phoenix versus Denver, we already talked about that. FaZe versus Slither, oh boy!
That's going to be interesting, but I still give it to Slither.
I don't know.
Both love Delfino Plaza.
They do. Both love Delfino. And here's the thing about FaZe. This is Vio talking, not me. Vio said that FaZe, for a while now, has been using an HD TV to play as Brawl. And the rumor basically is that when playing Brawl on an HD TV, there's a little bit of lag between everything. And when FaZe was at his absolute peak, beating everybody in the domain, he was using a standard TV. When he switched in HD TV, he kind of downgraded a little bit. Well, he's got a standard TV again. And all those matches that I brought against him that's been uploaded on the site, me versus FaZe, that was when he had an HD TV.
Oh boy.
So, I think people need to be scared of FaZe again, because I just remember when he was at his best, I could not beat him with anybody but Sheik. And even then, it was damn close. I could not beat him with Bowser. I couldn't beat him with DDD. The only person I could use was Sheik, and that was only because I sat back and spammed a lot of needles.
Yeah, I recall struggling against FaZe 2 a lot. He has a really solid Toon Link. I feel Toon Link and Olimar is even because Toon Link is one of the few characters that can outcamp Olimar with momentum.
Yeah. And that's why I think this match is going to be interesting, because FaZe got a lot of room to move, and he can camp better than, as Vio said, FaZe can camp better than Vio's Toon Link.
Yep, but this is Meta Knight on Delfino Plaza. Do not underestimate Meta Knight on Delfino.
This is true.
Meta Knight sharks like a champ on Delfino.
This is true, but as long as FaZe is smart with his bombs, then Meta Knight can shark all he wants. Will get blown up every time he sneaks his head up above the platform.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that this isn't an interesting match. I'm just giving. I just feel Slither should not have many problems.
I think FaZe is going to win.
We'll see
I
what
think
happens.
FaZe is going to pull that upset.
We'll see what happens. If Slither somehow loses, I can beat you.
So FaZe and Slither and Tree and Zan are probably going to be the most hype matches this week.
Yep.
As far as Koopa Troop Brawl Seals.
Also,
now,
our own unfinished business.
Yeah, our own unfinished business. Wait, what is this mess about unfinished business?
Remember last season when we were both on Delfino and we didn't play? That unfinished business.
Oh, why didn't we play?
I think you had, like, personal problems.
Oh,
yeah,
God, yes, I remember that, and I'd rather not talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm just saying unfinished business. I want to do this.
So let's go ahead and move on. Smash Royales versus Zodiac Knights. We've already had 2 victories. Rust beats Boo, which, quite frankly, I don't think there's any surprise there.
Oh God, no. DDD just gets wrecked by Olimar.
BK losing to Psycho. Again, Psycho's a really damn good player. And who did BK use?
I'm not sure. Let me just look at this. If not reported.
It's around there somewhere.
There's a link to the top. There's the link to the post. It should be there, but it's loading very slowly. So I'm gonna just look at that later.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that they had links to the actual post.
Yeah. So BK used Marth both matches.
Really? Wow.
It's not a bad idea.
It isn't a bad idea against an Olimar, but again, if you're Marth, you need to get close to Olimar, and getting close to Olimar is a dangerous move.
Yeah, you gotta use your priority like a champ.
Yeah, because the first match, Psycho won with 3 stocks.
Oh boy, that's miserable.
Yeah, so he 3-stocked BK. And the second match, it was a little bit more even. So Psycho did really well.
Mm-hmm. I'd say there are plenty of good matches this week.
Mm-hmm.
I give Avon over Tails. Avon.
Yeah.
I played Avon last season. I know how good he is.
I completely agree with you there. And I'm also going to say that Bio beats Tucker Zane.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Tucker will put up a fight, but I give it.
Yeah, he'll put up a definite fight for sure. But I'm going to say Vio's going to probably win here.
Wesker and Grapes can go either way. I feel.
I actually think Wesker's got this.
Yeah, I think Wesker has a really solid Peach now, but honestly, it goes either way for me.
Mm-hmm.
I give it to Wesker maybe, but it's slim. It's slim.
Yeah,
it's a hunch.
I agree with you.
Deoxys and Silver Alloy. That's also going to be an interesting match.
That's going to be a hype match. In fact, the next 2 matches, Deoxys and Silver Alloy, and Ralph and Fernando, those are going to be really hype matches.
I place Ralph on a good pedestal, so I think Ralph takes that Fernando pretty not too easy, but it's a more solid hunch, I feel.
All right.
Deoxys and Silver Alloy, I think, is going to be a big factor in everything.
I think as long as Deoxys keeps a level head and appropriately tries to counter Silver Alloy as best he can, he'll be okay, but this is assuming Silver Alloy goes Ice Climbers again. If Silver Alloy also goes Meta Knight, then it is definitely going to be hard for Deoxys, because it's basically a Meta Knight ditto. And how many times has Deoxys had that kind of experience?
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see about that one, see what they decide to do.
As long as Silver Alloy doesn't overthink the matchup, I think he should be fine.
I agree. Although, I think Silver Alloy probably will have a better chance of winning if he does use his Ice Climbers, because all he has to do is grab Deoxys once, because if Deoxys goes Meta Knight, which he probably will, he'd have to get close. And if Deoxys messes up once and gets grabbed, as long as Silver Alloy can do the chain grab properly, then that is a dead Deoxys.
Yeah, the problem with that is that this is Wi-Fi. Like, I played Silver Alloy in friendlies quite a bit last season, and I could keep up with him because he couldn't get the chain grabs off.
Alright.
And I was using Olimar, and Olimar gets wrecked by Ices.
Yeah.
It's kind of miserable when they can Blizzard approach you and you can't do shit about it except time correctly.
Oh, the Pikmin! Oh, the Pikmin!
They're all dying! My wife, my children!
Oh, my Pikmin!
So, Silver Alloy probably improved since last season because everybody knows what he did offline. I think Alloy will be fine in this. I think he can take it, but it's going to be one of those matches that decides this week. I think Zodiac Knights will be fine. I think Zodiac Knights can like edge them out barely because Rust got tanked.
Yeah.
Rust got tanked pretty bad.
I think it's honestly going to end up going to an ace.
Oh yeah, ace. Yeah, ace is what I'm thinking.
Because if Avon wins, Violent Rust wins, and Wesker wins, and of course Psycho won, I'm probably going to say Silver Alloy wins, and I'm probably going to say Ralph wins. I think that's going to end up going to an ace.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Yeah, and I think Psycho would take the ace set. Psycho has been really solid so far.
It'll probably end up being Psycho versus Ralph.
That was a really good draft pick on Zodiac Knight's part.
Mm-hmm.
How about the most traditional matchup of the week?
Wolfpack versus Prime Alliance, the rivalry that never ends.
Mr. Bones says the ride never ends.
Now, no matches have been completed so far as the recording of this podcast. We first have Genma versus K-Wolf.
Genma is really lucky. He keeps getting low-tier matches where Yoshi isn't completely garbage.
Yeah. And if Genma can beat, like, BK, he can probably beat K-Wolf.
Yeah, I think I give this to Genma. Yoshi destroys Link, I feel.
He does. Yoshi... Oh, God.
Yoshi just keeps low-tier tournaments alive.
Look, Crazy versus Detfan, even though I know he, for whatever reason, wants everyone to call him BSM, but nope, everyone knows him as Crazy. Yeah. Crazy versus Detfan.
He will never be Barney.
He will never be Barney, nope.
I give Detfan versus good.
The Falcon.
I like that YouTube video. I want to root for the Falcon. I always root for the Falcon.
I want to root for the Falcon too, and even if he doesn't use Falcon, it's Game & Watch. And even then, I want him to use Falcon, and I want him to win.
That's like Crazy takes it pretty easy. If Crazy could deal with me, he can deal with Detfan.
Unfortunately, yeah, I agree with you. Probably Crazy's got that one.
Link and Nier is going to be interesting.
It will be.
This was a sequel. This is a sequel matchup that Nier just barely lost last season, I think.
Oh, wow, really?
Nearly. It was close.
Nearly?
Nearly.
Nearly.
Wait. Oh, wait. I misworded that. Nearly only barely lost. Barely is the keyword.
Nearly won.
I didn't even intend that.
Go ahead.
The JJ has gone full circle.
Now, yes. So, who do you think is going to win this time?
Goes either way. I'm still leaning to iLink, but yeah, I think iLink can do this pretty straightforward. Nier is a good Zelda. Nier is a leggy Zelda. You were going to struggle with Nier, but I don't think at the end of the day it's not going to be much question. Nier can do it. It's just going to be an uphill struggle. All
right, we'll wait and see what happens with that. So that'll be an interesting match since it is kind of like a grudge match type of thing.
Yeah.
Alpha versus Helpin. Helpin wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually know Alpha off-site. I know Helpin. I go on another forum with this guy. I go on another forum where I am the god tier brawl player. Think about that.
Helpin wins. Oh, I want to go on this website that you're the god tier player, so I can go in and just scare everybody.
Yeah. It's actually a Mario fan site, so I should probably give you a win.
Anyway, so Alfalfa and who does Alfalfa even use?
He uses Rob and Lucario.
Oh.
He's new. He's not necessarily new, but I played Helpin. I played Helpin quite a bit last year. Helpin and I are about the same level. I might be a bit better, but it's close. I know, using me as a litmus, I know Helpin can win. I know Helpin can win.
I'm pretty sure Helpin.
Like, this isn't just a hunch. I know Helpin wins.
All right, then let's move on. Striker and Lax. Now this is going to be interesting because I know Striker has gotten so much better. He's probably one of the fastest rising players on the domain.
Oh, I think
because when he first showed up, he was good, but he wasn't amazing. Like people wouldn't really look at him and think AAA player on the domain. Now all of a sudden he's scary. He's fucking scary.
I wouldn't say he's only scary now. Last season, he was like the most consistent player for Wolfpack. I called it at the start of the season, and he proved it. He proved it really hard. He was the most consistent player of the season. Except during the playoffs, where Chicken beat him somehow.
I don't know, but still, he's good. He's very good now. And Lax is also very good.
I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with either of these players to make a very valid call.
If it's extremely laggy, then Lax wins. If there's not that much lag, Striker wins.
So it's probably gonna be Strides. Go SoCal. West Coast is best coast.
Now then, Juan versus MB Money, and Juan used to be Maze, and Maze is a guy that a lot of people slept on as well, and forgot just how good he actually is.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
So
I think I was trying to get him. Yeah.
His Rob is pretty damn good. However, he does have a lot of lag helping him out. Whereas MB Money, who also uses Rob, has a better DK, I believe, overall. Better than his own Rob. So he'll probably end up going DK in the match. Maybe.
It goes either way, I feel. Like, I think MB Money should be fine because he actually uses Rob and knows how Rob works, so there won't be many surprises that you can throw at him.
That's true.
I think MB has been better opponents in general. I think Juan should be good. This should be a really close match, but I think MB has it by an edge. Just because of matchup knowledge. But Juan can counterpick him. That's the dangerous thing about Juan. He doesn't only use Rob, he uses DDD and a bunch of others, and he counterpicks you.
Oh, I see.
So that's why he's dangerous. He has Wi-Fi, but he's also smart Wi-Fi.
Oh, so smart Wi-Fi is the most dangerous Wi-Fi.
So he's going to try and counterpick MB Money. We'll see where it goes.
All right.
I think MB Money will have a slight edge, but
I believe so, because MB Money's also kind of the same. He counterpicks as well. Mm-hmm. Like, he's proficient with a lot of characters.
Yep.
Now,
last matchup, I guess, Concon and TJ.
Yeah, Mr. Concon and TJ. Now, this is going to be also interesting because TJ has proven that he's a lot better than most of us remember.
Oh, yeah.
Because he beat, who was it, Ralph?
Oh, yeah, Ralph.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about that before. He beat Ralph with DDD. Mm-hmm. And that was surprising. But this is still Mr. Concon here that we're talking about.
I am so mad that Wolfpack still has Concon as captain because he's so much better than a lot of people.
He's easily top 5, top 10 in the site right now.
I'd say it's just top.
Just top?
Just top.
Flat out top?
Just straight out top. I probably shouldn't have been surprised when he beat Denver, but I was. Though Denver was rusty, so Denver will get him back eventually, I swear to God. I swear to God. I think Concon will be fine because he's Luigi, and TJ uses predominantly heavyweight characters, and Luigi eats them alive.
Yeah. Lots of juggling. Jabbing the up B and Luigi Yukin. So I think if I was going to pick one, I'd say Mr. Concon.
Yeah, I think we're agreed on that point. It should be an interesting match. I think Wolfpack and Prime Alliance this week have a pretty even matchup in 2 points, and that's where it's going to matter the most.
Yeah.
Whoever wins 2 out of 3 in 2 points wins the week.
Yeah, I think Wolfpack's going to end up winning the week.
If Prime Alliance can pull out some shenanigans and 2-pointers to alleviate the pressure from 1-pointers, which I think Wolfpack has done a good job of stomping there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how well they'll do in Ace, though, so there's room for upsets and 1 points, but it's going to be an interesting week to keep an eye on.
I think the match that's going to determine whether or not, or the two matches that's going to determine whether or not who wins is Striker and Lax and Genma and K-Wolf. Those are going to be the quintessential matches, I believe.
I can agree. You love those 2-point matches. You love those low-tier matches.
Of course.
Of course.
So that pretty much covers it as far as last week's BDTL and this week's predictions and comments.
We covered beef. I don't think there's much else to talk about in terms of beef.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Although, I look forward to linking Game Grumps videos when Brawl Seals win. It's no use.
It's no use! It's no use! It's no fucking use!
Denver wins! Slither wins! 2-Tam wins! I win! My win!
See. We shall see.
We'll see
Super
what
Troop
happens.
still has a chance, but I think it comes down to... Truly, I think it comes down to our match and FaZe's match.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll see what happens there. Because if I lose against you, then we're pretty much fucked.
Uh-huh.
We're pretty much dead in the water.
Yeah.
So, we shall see.
We'll see what happens. I got faith in my team. I drafted them to slam with the best.
But we are... Dude, you're talking to a guy who mains Bowser. Nobody slams better than me.
I don't know. Bowser strikes me as a guy who jams with the rest.
No, it's called the Flying Slam, not the Flying Jam. Nobody slams better than Bowser, dude.
Oh boy. That'll be fun.
Why don't we just move on to some gaming news for those that might be interested?
And then we'll talk about many things. Sordid, depressing things. Things that our bodies were not ready for.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go ahead and bring up the first thing, and that would be, hey, for those of you that are Resident Evil fans, did you know that Resident Evil Revelations is being re-released on Xbox, PlayStation, Wii U, and PC next week?
Not next week, but yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's next week. And I'm probably going to be buying it for the Wii U. And here's the thing. If you're going to get it for any console or anything at all, just get it for Wii U or PC, because PC version's got the best graphics, of course. Wii U version has the feeling of like the 3DS version with 2 screens, and it's got Miiverse stuff where you can have monsters actually chat to you by other people typing in stuff. It's actually kind of funny and bizarre that way. But the only thing that the 360 and the PS3 version has over the other two is community, I guess.
Boy.
So that's coming out next week. And it's good if people actually buy that, because it might actually give Capcom kind of a wake-up call, thinking, oh, well, maybe we should actually make Resident Evil games like this instead of our action-packed blockbuster movie bullshit that we've been making. Because they came out recently and said, okay, we admit that Resident Evil 6 didn't sell as well as we'd hoped. So here's Resident Evil Revelations reported to home consoles. Please buy it. So yes, please buy it.
I'm not much of a Resident Evil fan, but I do read lots of reviews and stuff. Wasn't Revelation like one of the few really good Resident Evil games that have actually come out?
Yes.
Like on a tier with Resident Evil 4 good?
Yes. In fact, well, not Resident Evil 4 good.
Well,
it was
better than 5 or 6. Way better than either of those.
It was higher than 5, it was higher than 6, it was higher than Code Veronica, and it was higher than 3. Like, it's like the 4th highest rated Resident Evil of all time. The first two being Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil 2, and the other one being like the original Resident Evil Director's Cut, something like that. But certainly, yes, it was very highly rated because it combined the over-the-shoulder action from Resident Evil 4 and 5 and 6, but kept the horror elements and the puzzle elements that Resident Evil, the first trilogy and Code Veronica had.
Yeah, that's the big thing about the more recent Resident Evils, that they got way too actiony in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. So definitely pick up Resident Evil Revelations. It is good. And if you get it for the Wii, then let me know. We can friend request and play raid mode and such.
Okay, so Cog just gave his game that he wants people to pick up. I'm going to do the same. Animal Crossing New Leaf is going to release for 3DS June 9th, and that's a game I'm looking forward to a lot. I started with Wild World. I joined a community that had a lot of DS online play, and you could do so much with so many people. There were like art auctions. You could play hide and seek. One fun memory that I had was like a glitch in a town where every Friday they would have like massive stock market sales for turnips. Like 500 bells per turnip, so you just make massive profits. And this happened every Friday. So there'd just be massive parties of people coming over to the town to sell their stuff and then just hang out. It's pretty great. I'm looking forward to Twin Leaf because it has a lot of fun new features while it keeps the same nostalgic flair that previous versions have had. I'm just looking forward to like, just getting with friends and just playing with them. If you're a fan of the series, it's so much improved. It has so much improvement on other things. I didn't like City Folk that much because I didn't think they did enough new. But looking at New Leaf, it has a lot of new features going for it. I don't want to rant too much. You should do your own research and see if it fits. But yeah, you might enjoy it. And if you played with me, I would be less lonely. I need friends.
Lonely, Mr. Lonely. Now then, on to a game I'm sure more people actually care about, and that is Phoenix Wright 5 has, as you all know, been officially confirmed for release in the United States. However, what has just been confirmed is that it will be a digital-only title, so there will not be any hard copies of this game. So if you got a 3DS, sure that you put in some money into your 3DS wallet and buy the game when it comes out, because it is Phoenix Wright fucking 5. Buy it.
I don't have a quote handy on me, but they made this decision because it would probably cost more to make hard copy releases. Might not be a fan of this choice because, well, it's just some people just generally prefer to have hard copies. I know I do.
Yep.
But if you buy the game, then they might be compelled to release more.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it is kind of like a niche title is why they decided to go for the download only, because they didn't even release Miles Edgeworth 2 here because of the poor sales of the first game, even though the fans of the Phoenix Wright series all bought the game. Except me, because I'm a dirty pirate.
Yar har, filthy.
Yar har! Anyway, so certainly on that, and unfortunately, we have to go on and do this next topic.
Nope. We're not doing that. We're not doing that topic yet. Because did you hear that EA acquired the rights to making the Star Wars games? They acquired the rights to make official Star Wars games. EA. This is something I'm really hyped about because when you consider the talent that they have at Electronic Arts. Like when you think about how what BioWare can do with it. BioWare is a really solid company for making Western RPGs.
Are we talking about the same EA?
They have very terrible business practices, but they got a lot of talent in store. And if their talent can make good Star Wars games, like if they can make Battlefront 3 with people who made Battlefield 3, that'd be pretty hype.
Star Wars, now owned by Disney, being made in the games by EA.
Yes.
Fuck.
It can't be too bad.
We'll see, but I'm not really the biggest Star Wars game fan, really. The last Star Wars game I truly liked was Shadows of the Empire on the N64.
I've played quite a few Star Wars games now that I really like them. Battlefront 2, I played the shit out of. It's just first-person shooter, but it was really great. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Well, if you're excited about it, then that's good news.
Do we want to move on to the soul-crushing topic of what we came across?
Unfortunately, we probably should.
Oh boy!
Take it away.
Okay, so we found a trailer.
We found a trailer? No, you found a trailer. You just gave it to me and subjected me to it. They're like,
yell
oh
at
my
me!
God, you need to watch this. It's awesome. I'm like, okay.
I didn't say it was awesome! Don't put words into my mouth! Let me find the words!
You implied!
Can we talk about this? Can we, please? I need it! Those were my exact words! There was no implications how... Oh, also we're talking about Equestria Girls. I didn't think that... It took a while for that to come out, but yeah, there's a trailer for My Little Pony where the ponies get turned into high school girls and they deal with high school issues. It's pretty terrible. It's a movie now. They're making it into a movie.
Allow me my rant, if you don't mind.
Are you going to cry first? Because I'm kind of close to it.
Okay. Allow my rant. Okay. So, we all know that My Little Pony has a massive fan base, especially among the male community. And one of the biggest Rule 34 bullshit kind of fantasies a lot of these bronies have is turning all the ponies into humans so they can have their fetish for these ponies without being furries as well. The people behind My Little Pony realized this, so what do? They decided, hey, let's make a full movie about this. And they did! And it's coming out, and all the goddamn ponies are now human! So all of the little bronies are like, I wish they were human, are now going to go into the theater with the pants down and their hands around the dicks.
I wouldn't agree with the assumption that all of the bronies are masturbating to this.
All bronies are! Those of you that aren't, you're just... No, you're doing it. Alright.
It's kind of like likening it to the furry fandom when all the furry fandom implies is that they like anthropomorphic animals. Like, if you like Looney Tunes, you could be considered a furry. That's how vast the definition is. And brony, all you gotta do is like My Little Pony. That's all you need. I'm less concerned about how this movie is going to encourage the depraved undercurrent that most people I wouldn't say most people, but like a good chunk of us would assume would exist of the masturbation kind. But it just looks like a really stupid idea.
Well, okay. The humans thing, sure, fine, whatever. But I think the dumbest thing really, in the end, is what the plot really is. It is a Disney Channel sitcom in the afternoon story about high school life and preparing for a dance.
I should correct you. It's the Hub, not Disney.
I was comparing it to Disney Channel because that is basically the kind of plot line they usually use.
Fair point.
Like on direct-to-DVD bullshit movies that Disney just turns out, it's like, oh, it's high school life. Oh, man, the girl's got to get the guy. And what on earth are they going to do? Well, they're going to do it in the dance. Oh, wait, but evil girl that's all like the popular girls in school. She's like, oh, you're new around here? Well, I instantly don't like you because I'm popular and you're not. So I'm going to sabotage your entire look because of it. That's the plot line of this fucking movie.
That can probably be assumed to be something along those lines. Yeah, I definitely saw a bitchy alpha girl in the trailer. The thing that more or less gets my goat about this entire premise is that My Little Pony isn't necessarily a girly show. It appeals to girls, but also appeals to males because it has decent storylines and writing. It's like, yeah, really good writing.
It's like cartoons that we used to watch growing up on Cartoon Network. It's
and
like
now?
Powerpuff Girls? Sure. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a great show at its core, but it was still an alright show. We all watched it.
Yeah. My Little Pony has the same appeal to along those lines as Powerpuff Girls. It got kind of turned up to 11 because it actually got a massive following. Aside from that, my point is, this movie, it seems like a step back. It seems like a step back to the kind of previous generation, exceptionally saccharinely girly shit that you would expect.
I don't even watch My Little Pony. I've watched all of 2 whole episodes in my entire lifetime. The rest has just been like a clip here and there that people post for giggles. And I'm like, okay, fine. I respect the show. I respect that there's a fan base for it, but I'm not going to watch it. And I haven't. But still, even then, This pisses me off. It's like, really? Really? You're going to turn them into humans? And that's going to be the whole premise?
Yeah.
And the plot line is going to involve a high school in a dance? Really?
It does seem to be a really sketchy premise in general. It just doesn't seem. It does seem like a go back to like the same cutter cut ideas for shows that we have already seen a billion fucking times.
We have seen this plot a billion times. We've seen it so much. Ah!
So now that Cog is reliving his Vietnam trauma. Is there anything else to discuss, or are we going to mourn for our collective souls at this point?
I think that's pretty much it.
Oh boy. So we've spent about 30 minutes talking about ponies. How do you feel about this?
We didn't spend 30 minutes, thank God. We spent about like 10.
I'm not more than 10, I feel.
You're the one doing the editing, you'll find out.
Oh boy. But
Good luck with that, by the way.
I get to relive Vietnam with you.
So, I think next week we'll discuss pretty much the same thing. Maybe next week we can talk about E3 since it's coming up soon and such like that. But we'll see. We'll talk about it, and maybe we can have a third person join us. Unless you guys really enjoyed just the two of us.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. So
we did it live. We did it live. We threw shit at the wall and it stuck. I hope. I assume. I pray.
Let's see how much salt happens this week, and we'll have more to talk about next week.
Alrighty. So I'm Tutan.
And I'm Kagato.
This has been the Brawl Domain Podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a good one, folks.
See you later.